blood soaked through the white fabric of her scrubs, the bright red blooming like a flower of violence across her chest. Her hands trembled, clutching the thick fur of the wounded dog beside her as sirens wailed in the distance. A man had run from the alley with a switchblade, screaming something about not letting that mutt near the kids, before plunging the blade into her again and again. She never let go of the leash. Her name was Clara. 32 years old, trauma nurse, quiet soul. She didn't flinch when chaos struck, and she didn't think twice when the German shepherd limped away from its handler's casket, confused and growling, only to be met with fear from a man who didn't understand what loyalty looked like. That dog belonged to Sergeant Kyle Masters, a decorated veteran laid to rest just 24 hours earlier. Clara had stayed late after the burial to calm the dog, to keep it fed, warm, and from biting itself out of grief. She wasn't military, but she understood pain. When the blade struck her ribs for the 5th time, Clara collapsed to her knees, not in fear, but in exhaustion. Her eyes stayed locked on the dog, who whimpered and nudged her shoulder with its muzzle. The attacker fled. No one followed him. The bystanders filmed it, of course. Phones in hand. No one moved. No one ran to her. Not until the sirens came. Clara barely made it through surgery. The dog wouldn't leave her hospital bedside, its bandaged paw resting against the edge of her mattress. But what no one expected was what happened next. The morning sun crept over the horizon like a quiet witness. Nurses coming in for their shift stopped cold just outside the ER entrance. One by one, heads turned, mouths opened, but words failed. Two black SUVs parked silently in front. Then 4 more. Out stepped men, tall, straight-backed, stone-faced, dressed not in uniforms, but in honor. Navy SEALs. Some still wore the quiet signs of recent combat. All moved in perfect silence. 200 of them. No weapons, just presence. They lined the hallway from the elevator to Clara's room, standing in silent formation. One man placed a folded American flag at the foot of her hospital bed, beside the dog. Another knelt, whispering something no one else heard. She hadn't spoken since the attack, but when she saw them, her eyes filled, lips quivering, and with a breath so soft it barely touched the air, she asked, "Why?" The SEAL commander simply nodded. "She stood for one of our own when no one else did. Now we stand for her." Clara blinked, and the tears finally came. The hospital went quiet. Even the monitors seemed to hum softer. Every nurse, every doctor, every patient who could stand did. There was no press release, no speech, just presence. One of the older SEALs, with a scar down his cheek and silver in his beard, approached the nurse's station. He placed a small coin on the counter, the kind only earned, never given. For valor in silence, it read. "She didn't need to be military," he said to the stunned receptionist. "She proved what kind of warrior she is when no one was watching." The video didn't go viral because of what happened to Clara. It went viral because of what happened after. A woman stood bleeding beside a loyal animal, defending a bond most people would never understand. And when the world looked away, warriors didn't. Sometimes, the commander later said in a rare interview, "True honor isn't worn in a uniform. It bleeds quietly and refuses to fall." People came from across the country to leave. Flowers. One boy left a handwritten card. "Thank you for showing me what bravery really looks like." And as Clara recovered, slowly learning to walk again with the help of the very same K9 by her side, she never once called herself a hero. But the world did, and the silence of 200 SEALs said more than any medal ever could. If this story moved you, tell us where you're watching from. Share your thoughts in the comments and hit subscribe for more stories that honor the heroes who walk quietly among us.